Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
33 at 15 miles an hour.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. No.
Years I told you the police is out there hurting people and y'all didn't want to believe me. Y'all just said, can't keep getting in trouble. The whole time I was just glad I made it out alive.
What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. No.
Bro, I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
Katt Williams is calling out a shocking arrest in Jacksonville that has everyone talking. A young black man got pulled over for what should have been a simple traffic stop. But instead of a ticket, chaos broke loose. Officers smashed his car window, punched him while he was still strapped in his seat, and then yanked him out like it was a movie scene gone wrong. And the craziest part? The whole thing is on Bodycam footage that's spreading online like wildfire. What's blowing people's minds even more is that even with the footage clearly showing excessive force, not a single officer is facing charges. The Florida State Attorney's Office says the cops didn't break any criminal laws, but after watching that video, nobody's buying it.
Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely there's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over.
Katt Williams got emotional speaking about the arrest, and people are feeling every word he said. To him, this isn't just one bad situation. It's part of a bigger, deeper problem that's been happening for years. And let's not forget, Katt has his own history of run-ins with police. He said that when they couldn't pin anything on him, they even tried to go after my kids.
Because here's the whole thing. You're gonna charge me with child endangerment? After I adopted 7 children and had them for 14 years in this state? Really? You coming after my kids now? Because it was already a witch hunt. Now you want my baby?
Let's break down exactly what went down during that wild Jacksonville arrest that has everyone heated, including Katt Williams, and what it says about race and policing in America. Here's how it all started. 22-year-old William McNeil Jr. was driving in Jacksonville earlier this year when sheriff's deputies pulled him over. The reason? They claimed he wasn't wearing his seatbelt and didn't have his headlights on during the day, 2 minor traffic issues, and honestly, that whole headlights during daylight rule is something people constantly debate. What makes this worse is that William wasn't being difficult at all. He stayed calm, politely asked why he was being stopped, and even requested to see the specific law about the headlights. That's huge. It shows he was trying to understand the situation instead of making things worse. But instead of handling it like a normal stop, the cops' reaction was straight up outrageous. Williams has now dropped a video he filmed right from inside his car, and it's jaw-dropping. In the clip, you can see an officer suddenly smash Williams' car window out of nowhere, then punch him while he's still strapped in his seat. The video makes it crystal clear. William wasn't a threat. His hands were visible the whole time, and he was just sitting there not moving.
Open my door because my window don't work, right? And then I said, so what I did wrong? He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, there's multiple people headlights off, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
Things got even worse when multiple officers yanked him out of the car, roughing him up and punching him again.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. No.
The brutal takedown left William with a concussion, a chipped tooth, and stitches in his lip, all from what should have been a basic traffic stop. But even with such graphic proof, the Florida State Attorney still chose not to file criminal charges against any of the deputies. According to ABC News, the sheriff's office only pulled one officer off active duty for an internal investigation. Yet not a single cop has been arrested or prosecuted. To make it worse, police tried to justify the attack by saying William was reaching for a knife. But the footage shuts that down completely. Both his hands were right there in plain sight when they smashed the window and started swinging. While all this was happening, William ended up being the one charged. He was hit with resisting without violence, driving with a suspended license, and a couple of minor traffic violations. He pled guilty to some of the charges and even spent 2 days in jail.
I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was really just scared.
Now William is speaking out about what went down, saying he was terrified and confused the entire time, and he's still dealing with the physical injuries and emotional scars from that day. What makes this case so wild is how the video completely destroys the police's version of events. The officers' reports tried to paint William as violent and aggressive, but the footage shows the total opposite. And this isn't just one bad traffic stop. It highlights a way bigger issue with how black drivers are treated by law enforcement. For years, people have talked about driving while black, where black motorists are more likely to get pulled over, harassed, and even brutalized for tiny or made-up violations.
I have been stopped by the police about 4 times in the last 60 days. A total of 5 times I've been pulled over.
Probably more than 20 times.
It's more times than I care to remember. But what you do know is how a very familiar feeling comes each time I'm stopped.
When I see a police officer behind me and the flashes go off, or they're just driving behind me, I'm nervous.
I'm conscious of my speed limit.
It's always nerve-wracking for me.
When I stop a car, they have reason to pull it over. The driver looks more like one of our suspects just because of the wide set nose.
You never know what's going to be the outcome of a traffic stop if you're a black man.
The fact that none of the Jacksonville officers were charged, even with clear video proof, makes it obvious that this isn't about just a few bad cops. It points to a broken system that keeps protecting its own. This is exactly the kind of thing Katt Williams has been warning people about for years. After that shocking video of Williams' brutal arrest in Jacksonville went viral, Katt posted a chilling message. Police can kill your ass today and come up with a story for the news tomorrow.
It's just murder. Just televised murder. So now there must be a reaction for that.
He wasn't just talking about one incident. Katt was calling out a problem that black people deal with constantly when it comes to police. And Katt knows this struggle firsthand. Over the years, he's been unfairly targeted again and again, arrested for no reason, thrown in jail multiple times, yet not once has he been convicted. One of his earliest run-ins with the law happened back in 2009 in a Walmart parking lot in Georgia. Cops took some of his guns, but he wasn't charged with anything. Katt later told Vibe magazine the whole situation felt like a setup, saying, "I wasn't doing anything wrong, just keeping to myself when a bunch of armed guys rolled up on me. One of them has a holster and a pocket full of bullets and a pistol. So I tell them, let's step outside. Once they get me outside and there's 6 of them and 1 of me, then all of a sudden they call in the sheriff to tell the sheriff I got guns and I'm the problem. This is a witch hunt. It's getting to the point where I feel like I'm being persecuted because this don't make no sense."
Allegedly found some guns.
Yeah, they always find guns. I never leave without. I'm on the middle of an interview, so sorry about it.
They found guns and drugs now.
Drugs?
That's what it was reported.
Sir, you can look at my paperwork. There was no drugs.
Do you have any resolutions or something you might do different next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna be white next time. In my next life, I'm Caucasian, and I ain't taking no for an answer. Now, let me explain something to you. I know it's people that are doing poorly in this country.
Yeah.
And they shot Trayvon Martin dead for looking kind of like I look.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X ended up dead for telling the truth. So as a comedian, I don't think it won't happen to me. I think they've thrown me in jail 36 times in 36 months, and I think you've never seen me in a court of law. That means they're effing with me. And today, they crossed the line, because now they took my babies.
All right, man. Well, Katt, we wish you luck, man.
And luck is unnecessary. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
For Katt, this isn't just commentary. It's personal. He's lived through the same kind of harassment and knows exactly how easily the story can get twisted to protect the ones in power. But those run-ins with the law didn't stop there. Not long after the Georgia incident, Katt found himself getting arrested over and over again. The most serious case came in December 2012 when he was accused of endangering his own kids after police claimed they found guns and weed in his house. The charges were eventually dropped, and Katt said it was just another setup, another attempt to take him down. And the drama didn't stop there either. In 2014, Katt and Suge Knight were both arrested after snatching a paparazzi's camera. The way the media told it, you'd think Katt and Suge just lost it out of nowhere. But Katt later revealed the real reason behind it. The paparazzi were trying to film Suge's 5-year-old son, and things escalated when they wouldn't back off.
I saw where you and Suge got arrested, right? You and Suge got arrested, is that true?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Like, and
what were we doing?
Allegedly it had something to do with like some type of photography, camera or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm just sure. I'm just saying this is what I read.
I'll tell you the story, and you tell me then does that change how you frame this?
Okay.
So we have a meeting with a hologram company, which is going to go into a licensing deal on some holograms. This is in Beverly Hills. So now there's a rodeo, and behind that is an alleyway where you park your vehicles. That's where we are. Suge has brought his son with him who's 5 years old. And before we go into this meeting, Suge's son runs behind the dumpster and urinates. And a lady films his peeing behind the dumpster. And then says, oh, I thought that was Katt's kid. So yeah, that's what happened.
See, man, this is
so understand, we were facing 20 years, Suge and I. 20 years for that. And if it wasn't for the fact that this is Beverly Hills and it's all on camera, they had no problem sending us up the river when we couldn't have possibly done what was being said. That lady said that she got jumped on by me.
To Katt, it was just another example of how fast the media can twist a story, leaving out the part that shows why it really happened. Fast forward to 2016, and that year turned into a complete nightmare for Katt. He was arrested not once, not twice, but 4 separate times, all for different fights and random run-ins that kept making headlines. Then in 2018, he got taken into custody yet again after what sounded like a ridiculous argument over a dog. And that's when it was revealed he had an outstanding warrant. While Katt was constantly getting dragged into legal drama, the media wasted no time slapping labels on him, calling him unstable, unpredictable, and a crazy addict. And if you pay attention, it's the same playbook they're now using on William McNeil Jr., trying to frame him as violent just to justify the police brutality caught on camera. But here's where things get even more suspicious. Katt's legal team just dropped a bombshell. William was never contacted by the state attorney's office during their so-called investigation into whether the deputies broke any laws. William's lawyer, Harry Daniels, said it plain as day. How can you make a determination of no criminality before you get a chance to talk to Mr. McNeil? What I believe it was, and I'm gonna say it, whitewashing.
The Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff's Office has now released body camera video of this violent arrest back in February, insisting the officers did nothing criminal.
I didn't do nothing. It's called resisting, idiot.
There absolutely was force used by the arresting officers, and yes, that force is ugly. And just because force is ugly does not mean it's unlawful.
In the police report, an officer claimed McNeil was reaching for a knife. McNeil's lawyers deny that.
We watched the video, and that did not happen.
That's a huge deal because in any legit investigation, the victim is supposed to have the right to speak up and share their side of the story. But in this case, they completely ignored Williams' voice, like he didn't even matter. And to make it worse, the cops' official reports are full of straight-up lies. They claimed William reached for a knife and wasn't wearing a seatbelt, even though the body cam footage clearly shows officers unbuckling him before smashing his window and dragging him out. The same state attorney's office that cleared the Jacksonville deputies in Williams' case has a history, and it's not a good one. Over the past few years, there have been multiple use of force cases with video evidence and still no charges filed. It's become a routine. Cops brutalize someone, internal affairs reviews it, prosecutors shrug, and the whole thing disappears like it never happened. But this time, Williams' legal team isn't letting it slide. They're gearing up to take the fight to federal court, arguing that everything, from the bogus traffic stop to the sham investigation, violated Williams' civil rights. And they're not stopping with the cops. Williams' lawyers are straight up calling out the state attorney's office itself, accusing them of helping the sheriff's department cover up misconduct. They're naming names and demanding accountability, saying the prosecutors worked hand in hand with the very officers they should have been investigating. Behind the scenes, Florida is becoming ground zero for a massive fight over police accountability, and Williams' case might be the tipping point. Civil rights groups are already watching closely because this isn't just about one man's arrest. It's about exposing a pattern of corruption that's been swept under the rug for years. Sources close to the situation are saying that multiple lawsuits could be filed in the coming months, not just against the officers, but against entire departments that have been accused of covering for dirty cops. And if that happens, it could finally force officials to answer some uncomfortable questions about why so many use of force cases never lead to justice. Williams' legal team is building their case like never before, gathering evidence, rallying public support, and getting ready to push this into the national spotlight. They believe this case could be the one that cracks open a system that's been protecting its own for far too long. And the pressure is already rising. With the body cam footage still spreading online and outrage growing by the day, people are demanding answers. Not just from the police, but from every official who played a part in letting this slide. Politics in Florida just took a bizarre turn. Florida Attorney General James Meyer is throwing his support behind a wild new proposal called Alligator Alcatraz.
And lawmakers got their first look inside Alligator Alcatraz, the makeshift immigration detention center in the Florida Everglades. Florida Democrat Debbie Wasserman Schultz called the conditions disturbing and vile.
This is an appalling, outrageous environment to detain anyone. This place needs to be shut the hell down.
Yes, you heard that right. They actually want to build a prison on a swamp island and use real alligators as natural security. It sounds like a bad movie plot, but they're really doing this in Florida. And here's where it gets even messier. Meyer is backing the exact same sheriff's department that's under fire for the brutal arrest of William McNeil Jr. He's openly talking about cracking down harder on black communities, which has people furious. While William is still recovering and fighting for justice, powerful figures are out here supporting plans that feel straight out of a dystopian nightmare. But trust me, this story is far from over. Civil rights groups are pressuring the Department of Justice to step in, local activists are digging up receipts, and insiders are saying records are being scrubbed as people start to panic behind closed doors. Something big is coming, and when it hits, it won't just be Jacksonville in the spotlight. If you're fired up about this and want the truth to keep coming out, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because when the next bombshell drops, you'll want to be here for it. See you on the next one.